Welcome to Stationery by Justine. On this channel, I hope to inspire you to create something beautiful. If you like what you see, please like the video and consider subscribing for future videos. I am a Spellbinders influencer, so some of the products that I show in my videos are sent to me. If you're interested in anything that I'm showing, I will have products linked in the description, and I do have some cards available on my Etsy shop. Let's get into today's video. Welcome to Koala Smiles number 3. This is the third video in my mini-series, all about the Spellbinders card kit of the month from May 2022, called Koala Smiles, which is very appropriate because the die that comes in the kit is what you see here, and it is a cheerful little koala. So just going forward, I did not show the creation of the koala since I've shown I think 5 of them now in my videos, so I didn't want to go through how to make every one. So if you watch the first one, I show you how to make it. Now I'm showing you what to do with it. So that koala just gets plopped right down onto some cardstock that I have, and I used an embossing folder on the cardstock to make it look like wood, and a simple thanks will do for my sentiment. And that's from the kit. That's the puffy thanks. And that's it. Pretty simple, but cheerful. You can always use thank you cards. Now, the second one is similar to a card that I did in video number 2, but it's using a couple different scraps. So it has the same koala, but different scraps that I'm showing. Now, I didn't have a big enough scrap to cover the bottom, so I'm just going to put some white down. And my embellishment covers it anyway, so I didn't really feel like it mattered too much. Koalas are just so darn cute. I think koalas are very interesting, and I bet you didn't know they had 2 thumbs on each hand. Also, the girls' female koalas are called does, and the males are called bucks, which is similar to deer, which I don't know why, but I find that very strange. Just some lovely anecdotes for you that you probably never need to know. You're welcome. Once again, in this video, I'm using my liquid glue. That is the Barely Art liquid glue. With that precision tip, it makes it very simple for gluing. And there's those reverse tweezers again. My favorite. I shouldn't say my favorite. I do have probably 10 tools that I like the best, but the reverse tweezers is up there. Same with the liquid glue. Liquid glue, that tool-in-one that you see there on the right from Spellbinders, I love using that brushed tip part for any of my stitching dies. Which, if you haven't watched my stitching dies from May, you're going to want to watch them because I made a ton of cards with the stitched dies from the clubs this month, and I really had fun with that, so go ahead and check those out as well. All right, back to these circle letters. So help me. Making them straight was a bit of a challenge, but I tried another technique in this video to line them up nicely. So I figured that they are spaced exactly the same on the thanks and the love you. Now, the love you sentiment I am not using on this card, but I'm using it as a template, if you will, for the spacing. So ideally, the T should line up with the L, the H, and the O, etc. It should line up. Yes, I know that I have one extra letter in love you than thanks, but it should line up. So that's at least what I was going for. So I started off, and since they are chipboard stickers, I always use a little bit of liquid glue just so they don't pop off. So that's what I'm doing. Every time my hand goes away, I'm putting a little glue on it. Still new to filming, so I'm sorry if that bothers anyone. Sorry. Here I go with the S, and it's still not centered, but so help me. It's pretty close. So off camera, I kind of wiggled them around, but it ends up looking just fine. I'm trying to think of all these ways to make them centered, but the most logical way is to measure it out and do some simple math, but I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't. Now for this middle one, I'm using some foam tape. This is from Dollar Tree, $1.25 Tree, and it's just a little bit thinner than the pop-up squares, and I didn't want it popping up too much. And I'm going in with the sequins from this kit, which are bright pink. And I love that Spellbinders is now doing different sizes of sequins for their card kit. So we have little and large. And it matches my cardstock just perfectly. So I really love the bright color. And I'm going in with my glossy accents again. And I'm going to put that on the vases to give them a shine. Once again, if I use glossy accents, I will be careful and put my card somewhere to dry for about an hour. And these vases, I was a little thick with my glossy accents, so it took about an hour and 20-ish minutes to dry. But once it was dry, it was perfect and it looked like a vase. Ta-da! At the end, I'll kind of show what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, now, you see these little scraps that I'm adding. They are to support the back of this circle. And I'm going to put them down, and you're going to say, I can see a corner on the bottom. I know, it's fine. Trust the process. I'm going to cover it. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm going to cover it with some pieces of flowers here. The one on the left is a chipboard piece, and the other one is an ephemera piece. And I have a bunches of thanks that I've made off camera, and that is my sentiment for this card. I love thank you cards, as I've said before. So here I go. Still haven't covered it yet, but I will. With a sequin. I know. And those gold eucalyptus leaves still are not used. I thought maybe on this one. No. And I ended up not using all of the hearts that I thought I might on this card, but I really like the little hearts that came in the kit. I probably will end up making a shaker card with them, since I still have about 10 left over after making 31 cards. So to me, all of those were going to go in a shaker and look really cute. But that's for another day. Moving on to my next card. This has a lot of floral going on. So I already put down cardstock, pattern paper, cardstock, pattern paper. Now I have the tag that came in the kit, and I used some yellow twine to make a bow, and I just simply glued it on. I didn't even bother tying it around, just to kind of give it some cuteness and not to be too fussy with my string. That liquid glue works for everything, so I love it. So I'm going to put my tag and flowers right onto my panel and just kind of wiggle it around until it looks right. That's the grace of liquid glue. Now I took some liquid glue and I'm just putting it on the bottom of my twine, and I'm doing that to kind of seal in the twine so it does not unravel. This way I don't have to do a knot, and just a little bit of glue will do the trick. Then I have a chipboard sentiment that says thankful that came with this kit. That's going on the bottom of my tag to not cover up the flower. Another thank you card. There's always something to be thankful for. All right, now this card is going to be a birthday card, and I kind of wanted to create a scene similar to the card in my first video, card number 10, where I made that kangaroo jumping through the outback. This one is not so Australian, but I thought about it. I took some pattern paper and made 2 little hills on the left side, and I used a scrap paper for the bottom, for the ground. And this kind of looks like wood, but to me it works for ground. And I used the bike, that is a ephemera piece from the kit, for some cheerfulness, and a happy puffy sticker. And the circle letters are coming on back for this card. I didn't want to be too fussy with my placement since birthday has so many letters. I didn't want to sit and make them all straight. So what I end up doing is taking them off of the plastic and making it look playful, which I think works because of the bike, and it's a birthday card, so it's supposed to be cheerful. I tried making them straight. No, it does not work. At least it did not work for me with this card. It worked for me with another card, kind of, but no. So, as I've said, I use the liquid glue with these. So I have not added glue yet. So I'm just gonna kind of move them around just a little bit with my tool-in-one, get them where I want it. And I'm going to take some washi tape. I believe this one is from Tim Holtz, and make a long strip across my card. Then I'm going to gently press on my letters, lift them up, then add liquid glue to all of them. Dots, not lots, as we say in kindergarten. And then I will flip it over, put it where I want, gently press down, and let it dry for just a little bit. And I'm going to work on my next card. I feel like if I would pull it off right now, I would pull off the letters as well. So just letting it sit as I make this next card will be enough time for that liquid glue to stick to the pattern paper. So when I'm ready to take the washi tape off, those circles don't come on with it. So this card that I'm working on now has a pattern paper scrap, a cardstock scrap, 2 flower ephemera pieces, and a bird. Now this is not just a regular bird. This is a kookaburra, which, how adorable is that name, a kookaburra? Anyway, I just thought I'd mention it. It's one of the Australian birds. It might be other places too. I think it's a kingfisher, so it's kind of a neat little bird. He looks very serious with his markings by his eye. So it's kind of ironic because it says happy day as a sentiment and the bird looks very serious. But that is just fine. Perhaps he is happy in the inside. Reaching. Anyway, I'm finishing this card off with 3 heart puffy stickers from the puffy sticker pack. Now I'm going to go back to that first biking card. Now that the glue has had a chance to stick to the pattern paper, I will carefully take off the washi tape and reveal the birthday letters. And it worked out really nicely. So if you want to try that out, feel free to try it out. And I'm back with another koala because this die was so cute. So here I am gluing it down with my liquid glue once again. And I thought that I would make a hang in there card because you never know, you might need to encourage somebody. I'm going to use the pouncing method again. I don't know who made this up, but it works really well. Just have some glue on some scratch paper, reverse tweezers, pounce it on there, put it on the card. It works really well. Once again, those reverse tweezers coming in very handy. Worth every, I think, $3 or $4 that I spent 2 years ago. Gotten a lot of use out of them. The only thing I'd change about them is if they were some kind of bright color, because I lose things a lot on my tiny workspace, but they'll do. All I need to do now is add there onto the bottom. And I was kind of nervous when I put the G for the hang that there wouldn't be enough room, but in fact, there was just enough. Then I wanted to pull in some of the sequins from this kit. Since I used on a couple other cards here, some old sequins that I had, I wanted to pull in these bright pink ones. And in person, that pink really matches the paper that I have as the base layer, so it didn't quite read that way on camera, but that's okay with me. You get the picture. So here they are. I used some large and small ones. I did also add a small chipboard heart, just to add some cuteness to the already adorable card. So now if you look really carefully, I'm showing you with my two-in-one, there's a line going right down the center, because guess what? This is 2 pieces of pattern paper. Scraps. And you can't even tell. The best part is the pattern paper lines up, and unless you're really, really, really looking carefully, you can see it, but there's no way that someone would see it if they weren't looking for it. So use the pattern paper. Don't hoard it. Yes, just use it. Just use it. And how can you not with this big, beautiful flower in the corner? And this and ampersand. Ampersand? That's such a weird word if you think about it. Ampersand. Now I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. Chipboard element with the flower on the bottom as well. So it's just adorable. Be yourself. Follow your heart. To me, this card reads graduation. I don't know. So I'm going to add some of my old sequins that I have in a little dish. I believe this is from the March kit, but I don't remember. But it works really well because it's like a yellowy color. And one more card here. Actually, there's, I think, 2 more after this, but another card. I'm using some plaid to create a grassy effect. And the rest of it is to be a faux sky, the 2 little embellishment houses, and one that says, celebrate today. Perhaps it will be a happy house, I'm not sure. Now, if you look really carefully on this pattern paper, I have on the left on the top a blue area, and then the rest is green. So I tried to create a lake. I don't know if it reads that to you, but that is what it looks like to me. So I put the 2 houses on the land and try to make a little scene that way. Also with the sentiment, celebrate today. Now this will be my last card for the video, but not my last card for all of the elements from the kit, because there are so many pieces that you can make so many cards. I've made 31 and I'm not even done. So if that overwhelms you, I would try not to be overwhelmed, because you can really get so many cards out of spending just a little bit of money and enjoying the process of making so many cards. Plus you get the enjoyment when you give it to someone, or you sell the card and someone else sees it and they like it, which is really fun. So I've used a chipboard frame, chipboard sentiments, and the chipboard sentiment gorgeous. The rest of it, all of the other little pieces, are all ephemera pieces. And I just layered them and went from there. Luckily with my liquid glue, I was able to pull that frame up and give it a little bit of a adjustment on the placement. So that is all. There's a little update on that glossy accents. It does really look like some glass. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and sticking through, especially if you watched all 3 videos. Yay you. Let me know which one was your favorite from this video. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!